So you've been introduced to the MINX data collection device. We think we know what you might be wondering. What are the applications for MINX? How do people use it? What exactly does MINX measure? Great questions. If you're asking them, chances are what you really want to know is, what can MINX do for me? Because MINX has so many applications, the answer can be really long. We're going to try to simplify it here, but at the same time, show the breadth of possibilities. Chances are you'll be able to see that MINX can do a lot for you, even if we don't name your specific process. MINX measurements can fall into 6 categories: ambient air temperature, ambient air humidity, remote temperature or thermocouple, optical counting, acceleration or vibration, or with MINX's external input, MINX can monitor any 5-volt or 20 milliamp current loop sensor provided by the customer. Okay, that's not helpful yet, we know. Let's take a look at some real-life examples. Trisha's company manufactures precision medical devices with immensely small tolerances and impeccable quality control standards. Trisha's process engineering team employs MINX in order to consistently meet these unique manufacturing constraints. For Trisha and her team, MINX measures the temperature and humidity of the air in the room where the equipment is housed, and it collects vibrations from the environment that reach the equipment. These 3 measurements allow the team to learn how environmental factors affect their critical machines and the resulting quality of the product. They use that historical data to determine the limits of those environmental factors that would be expected to result in manufacturing problems. And they use the live MINX data to know, in the form of an alert, whenever those problem conditions present themselves, enabling them to take proactive intervention and avoid inferior output. In a very different manufacturing environment, John oversees production for a new startup ice cream brand. At John's company, many manufacturing best practices are employed to maintain the highest level of quality, but the finished product is stored in a 20-year-old walk-in freezer. John and the company owner have been wondering what would happen if that freezer broke, or even if the door didn't latch on a hot summer Friday night. How much production would be lost by the time the issue was discovered Monday morning? For John, MINX alerts anytime the interior freezer temperature exceeds 0 degrees Celsius, giving John time to save the ice cream before it melts. John has also positioned this MINX so the optical sensor can detect how many times the freezer door is opened and for how long. Combined with the freezer temperature data, John has learned that certain staff members' technique for loading and unloading ice cream is greatly raising the freezer's interior temperature. And since John knows that thaw and freeze cycles adversely affect the ice cream quality, he is going to be standardizing the loading and unloading procedure. And he can continue to use MINX data to confirm these new procedures are effective. In Darnell's plant, excess water from the production process fills a wastewater tank. This tank's level is supposed to be visually checked each morning by the shift supervisor and an operator assigned to empty it when necessary. However, about 3 times a year, this important step is missed, resulting in wastewater all over the production floor, interrupting the shift and ruining all the cardboard boxes stacked nearby. So Darnell purchased a simple float switch, installed it on the wall of the tank, and wired it to a MINX 5-volt external sensor input. Darnell also connected an LED light to MINX's external output. Now, no one needs to check the tank each morning. Whenever the tank's water level reaches the float, the LED turns on to inform nearby operators to empty the tank, and Darnell and the supervisor each receive texts. From his desk on the other side of the plant, Darnell can even confirm when the tank has been emptied by consulting MINX's control chart on his web browser. So what do Trisha, John, and Darnell have in common? They all use MINX to collect the data they need in order to monitor, control, and optimize their manufacturing processes. What could MINX do for your manufacturing environment? With so many possibilities, it might take a minute to think of how MINX can apply to you. That's why we're here. We're happy to assess your particular processes and machinery and provide our recommendation so that you can see the positive impact MINX would have.